Do you ever feel like your paycheck disappears the moment it hits your account? Life has become so expensive. In the last 5 years, grocery prices have increased by 30%, and the price of coffee has doubled. Housing has become unaffordable for many. And worst of all, the cost of chocolate is soaring.
I really love my chocolate.
Just surviving, let alone saving money, can feel like an uphill battle. But I found that it is possible to put some money aside, if you're willing to be honest with yourself about how you spend your money and why. So today I'll share 15 easy habits to save money without feeling deprived. And maybe one or two will resonate with you as well. Where will this live? When I'm looking at something, whether it's a sofa, a plant, a new sweater, or a pair of shoes, I find it helpful to ask, do I have a place for this? Like, I visualize in my head where I'm going to put this thing. Where will it go? In which room? Or which shelf, corner, or drawer? And what will get displaced? I'll also ask, what if I move? And I'll really go wild with my imagination here. I'll visualize wrapping the item and then lifting it up, carrying it to the truck. Do I really want that? Do I really care enough about this item to go through all of that? I found that if an item already starts to feel annoying when I ask these questions, well, there's my answer. $1 per use rule. This is another simple tool that has changed how I think about purchases. Before buying something, I'll ask, will I use this at least once for every dollar that I'm about to spend on it? A $200 leather jacket? Well, will I wear it at least 200 times? Or a $500 acoustic guitar? Will I actually play it at least 500 times? Or am I actually buying it because I just think it looks cute in the corner? Or maybe I'm just in a phase where I'm in awe of Miriam Bradley's finger-picking technique, but in reality, once I start learning how to play the guitar, I will probably quit after a few tries. What I love about this rule is that it cuts through the noise. It doesn't ask questions like, can I afford it, or is it on sale? It's more practical. Will this actually earn its place in my life over time? Many bad purchases happen because we're caught up in the moment. We imagine this idealized version of ourselves, the person who bakes every weekend, or who goes to the gym daily, or who wears these bold statement pieces. But the $1 per use rule forces you to be honest. Is this for the real you or for the fantasy you? Calculate my real hourly wage. So this is a concept that really resonates with me. I got it from the book Your Money or Your Life by Vicki Robin, which is a book that I'm reading right now. I'll probably make a whole video about it soon. She makes the point that money is simply something we trade our life energy for. We've all been given a fixed but unknown amount of hours to live on this planet, and some of this time we sell for money. So the question then is, how much do you make per hour? How much do you sell your time for? Most people, when they're asked about their hourly wage, they'll just look at their gross salary and divide it by the amount of hours they work. So if you make $1,000 per week and you work 40 hours per week, that's $25 per hour. But your paycheck only tells part of the story. How much time do you spend commuting? And what is that costing you in terms of gas, car wear and tear, car loans, insurance, or maybe public transport tickets? And what about your clothes? Would you wear a noose around your neck or wear 3-inch heels every day if it wasn't required for your job? The same goes for things like takeaway coffee, business meals, daycare for the kids, Netflix and chill because you need to decompress after a hard days of work, job-related illness, or work stress. Vicki Robin points out that to know what you truly earn, you have to subtract all these hidden costs of working and divide them by all the hours work actually takes from your life. So instead of salary divided by hours, you calculate income minus work-related costs divided by total work-related time. When you add it all up, maybe you spend $300 a week on work-related costs, and you have to add an additional 30 work-related hours to your work week. So now you have $700 that you divide by 70 hours, and all of a sudden, your hourly wage isn't $25 anymore, but $10. Knowing your real hourly wage is a powerful metric to keep your spending in check. Instead of asking, can I afford this, when you're eyeing a new dress, a toaster, or a smartwatch, ask, is this $50 item worth 5 hours of my life? Or this toaster, like what do toasters go for these days? $70? Is this toaster worth 7 hours of commuting to work or sitting in boring meetings? Over the years, through things like minimalism and frugal living, I've already internalized ways of keeping my spending in check. I know asking this real hourly wage question will save me a ton of money in the future. And if you'd like more inspiration, I created a list with 100 frugal habits to save money. Download link is in the description. Don't drink alcohol. When I was in my 20s and 30s, I loved to go out and party. And I also got into the habit of drinking a glass of wine every night, or two. But these days, I hardly drink anymore, because alcohol is just plain bad for you, any alcohol. And maybe it's because I'm no longer used to it, or because I'm getting older. But even when I drink just one glass of alcohol now, I notice it in my sleep. It's more restless, I dream more intensely, and sometimes I wake up because I'm dehydrated and I need to take a sip of water. I don't miss those hangover days one bit. I love waking up feeling rested and refreshed. I'll still have a drink on special occasions. Like just last week, we had 50,000 subscribers on the channel. So if you're watching and subscribed, thanks so much. And if you're not subscribed yet, join the team. Let's go to 100,000 subs. On that night, we went to Mexican and I had a margarita. But I never drink alcohol at home anymore, and I rarely go to bars, and I definitely don't go clubbing anymore. So that saved me a bunch of money over the year. Drink more water. I got me one of these. It's about 40 ounces or 1.2 liters, and I easily drink 2 or 3 of these a day. And what I'll do is I'll just add some electrolytes. That way it has some flavor, and I just keep on drinking during the day. This bottle's great, but I didn't pay anything for it. I got it for free at a clothing store when I bought some t-shirts. Other than 1 cup of coffee a day, I don't drink much else than water. I don't drink energy drinks, I don't drink soda, I don't drink juice, maybe just some tea in the evening. Alright, let's go to my office and try a change of scenery. Shop groceries with a full stomach and a list. Have you ever gone to the supermarket at the end of a long day at work, you're exhausted and you're starving? It's 5-6 p.m, you get your shopping cart, and a half hour later you find yourself at the cashier and it's full of stuff that you weren't going to buy. In addition to tonight's dinner, there's also chocolate, chippies, cookies, and whatnot. Going to the supermarket on an empty stomach is dangerous, because supermarkets are designed to trigger impulse purchases through product placement, lighting, music, and sometimes even scents. So when you walk in without a plan, you're more vulnerable because you're more likely to get pulled in by whatever the supermarket wants you to notice. I mean, there's a reason why all those chocolate bars are at the cashier, right? While you're waiting for your turn to pay, those chocolate bars are just glaring you in the face, and if you show up hungry, it's very hard to resist. That's why when I go to the supermarket, I make sure I don't go on an empty stomach and I have a shopping list. For me, the shopping list keeps me focused and saves me money because it prevents me from impulse buys. If it's on a list, I know I want it, I thought it through. It's kind of like a promise to my future self that I won't waste any money that I'll regret later. Another way that a shopping list saves me money is that it helps prevent food waste, because I buy what I need and not what tempts me in the moment. And it also saves me time, because with a shopping list I get everything I needed, so I don't have to go back to the supermarket tomorrow because I forgot kiwis. Don't own a car. I haven't owned a car in like 14 years. I'm not saying I will never own one again, but not having a car has saved me a ton of money over the years. No car loan, no depreciation, no gas, no parking fees, no insurance, and I also don't have to worry about maintenance. Most of the time I don't need a car. I love walking to places, cycling, and I don't mind taking public transport. And when I really need a car, I can just rent one or I'll take a taxi. I know not everyone has that privilege. If you live remotely without easy access to public transport, you need a car. And if you live in the US, that country is so big and car-centric that owning a car is often a must, not a luxury, unless you live in a city like New York. So whether saving money by not owning a car is an option for you is only something that you can decide. But even so, my parents have friends who share a car with another couple. Maybe you could carpool to work. Or you could batch errands together to save on gas. Or maybe there are trips where you could walk, cycle, or I don't know, take a skateboard. I know people who take their car to, get 2 bananas at the supermarket or go to the swimming pool, even though that's 5 or 10 minutes away. How much is enough? Okay, I am back in the living room. I think I prefer recording here, so let's continue. Modern economics worships growth. Spending is almost like the patriotic thing to do. It's good for the economy, so people will keep their jobs. And a rising tide lifts all boats, right? In the book Your Money or Your Life, there's this graph of the fulfillment curve that really got me thinking. Here's how it works. In the beginning, starting from when we're a baby, we get fulfillment from having our basic needs met. Things like warmth, food, shelter, and safety. Then you move into comforts, things like toys, basketball, soda. And eventually we also find fulfillment in luxuries, like a nicer vacation, a bigger apartment, or fancier gadgets. Through these experiences, we're kind of trained to believe that more spending equals more fulfillment. That's also what all the marketing that we're bombarded with tries to convince us of. If only I can have that one thing, then I'll be happy. But as we keep upgrading and accumulating, do you ever ask, how much is enough for me? Vicki Robin writes that at some point, fulfillment starts to plateau. And not just that, it goes down, even as you spend more money. There's this sweet spot where you have enough. You have your basic needs met, some comforts, maybe even some luxuries. But beyond that, you enter the zone of clutter. More stuff, more commitments, more stress. Suddenly you're managing your possessions instead of enjoying them, and you're working longer hours to afford things you don't even have time to use. So my takeaway from this is to check in with myself whenever I'm tempted to buy something and ask, don't I already have enough? And will this actually fulfill me, or will it just add clutter to my life? Don't have a dog. Now, don't get me wrong, I love dogs. I've pet-sitted dogs, and I even volunteered as a dog walker at the shelter in Amsterdam when I still lived there. But getting a dog is a serious commitment. It not only impacts your mobility and ability to travel, it also has a big impact financially. The first year is the most expensive because you pay for the puppy or you pay an adoption fee. There's costs for things like spaying or neutering, microchipping, vaccines, and then there's the gear, like a leash, bowls, a crate, easily a couple of thousands of dollars. And after that, you have your annual cost for things like food, pet visits, toys, grooming, maybe you pay for a dog walker, and just pray that your dog doesn't get sick or injured. I realize this may be controversial, people love their dogs, and any dog owner will say that the companionship, the joy, and just the unconditional love of a dog is worth every cent spent on them. I get it. But if you're in a tight financial situation, maybe you're trying to build an emergency fund or you're paying off debt, that $2,000 you'd save can make all the difference. I'd love to hear your take. Let me know in the comments. Cook once, eat twice. So this one came forth out of pure frustration. I was just getting fed up with having to cook every single meal. So now when I cook, I try to cook once and eat twice, which is another way of saying I try to cook enough food so I have leftovers the next day. And when I feel like really planning ahead, I may even do some batch cooking over the weekend for the coming week. This saves me money because it's efficient. I can buy food in bulk and there's less unused food that goes to waste. But the savings go beyond money. Cooking has hidden costs. It's not just the ingredients, but also my time, energy, the mental effort of figuring out what I'm going to cook, and then the cleanup afterward. If you're already chopping vegetables, heating the stove, and washing dishes, doubling the portions barely doubles the work, but it does double the output. Don't buy branded clothes. When I was younger, a teenager, I loved surf brands. Stimmer Style, Billabong. I even put body glove covers on my school books. I don't know if that's a Dutch thing or even if it's still a Dutch thing because I went to high school in the 90s. But back then, I would take a day before the school year started to cover all my books to protect them from wear and tear throughout the year. Then when I started working my first real grown-up job, I switched to Hugo Boss jeans, diesel jumpers, Tommy Hilfiger soft wool pullover, and expensive shirts. But since I've started to study personal finance and embrace things like minimalism and frugal living, I don't care about branded clothes anymore. The clothes I now own are mostly unbranded, plain-looking items that go with anything, like white t-shirts or dark blue sweaters like the one I'm wearing right now. The 24-hour rule. This is one of the simplest habits I've adopted, and it easily has saved me hundreds, if not thousands of dollars over the years. Here's how it works. Before buying anything non-essential, wait 24 hours. That's it. We live in a world where consumerism is always being promoted everywhere, and online shopping is just a click away. If you truly want something or it adds real value to your life, that's great, of course. But too often, we don't stop to ask ourselves that question. This ties into what I discussed earlier about the fulfillment curve. How much is enough? The 24-hour rule gives you time to ponder this, to think first and buy second, if at all. It's so easy to buy on impulse, out of boredom, or maybe you feel you deserve this because you worked so hard. And companies know this. They make it as easy as possible for you to give them your money by one-click shopping, fast delivery, and limited time offers. They don't want you to pause and reflect. They want you to act immediately. The 24-hour rule gives you back the reins. When you pause, you get to ask important questions like, can I actually afford this? Do I need this? Do I already own something similar? And will I still want this tomorrow? More often than not, you realize the answer is no, and the impulse fades. You realize you were just bored or stressed or caught up in the moment. And by waiting, you saved yourself a bunch of money and avoided bringing more clutter into your life. Don't buy items on sale I don't need. I'm not against buying things on sale at a discount, not at all, but I am very cautious about impulse buys. We've all been there. In the moment it seemed like a good idea, but over time these items tend to pile up in the back of a closet or drawer, gathering dust. So I want to be mindful about what I surround myself with. Minimalism is about removing excess and distractions to focus on what's truly important. So to me the goal of minimalism is really to be more intentional. If you're not intentional about your purchasing decisions, it's so easy to fill your home with stuff again after you decluttered it. For me, I set this rule to not buy items on sale unless I was already going to buy it and I thought it through, because then I'd be intentional about it. Don't smoke. I smoked for about 8 years, but I quit a long time ago in 2005. When I started, a pack of cigarettes was around €3, €3.30, and when I quit, I think it was €5.5. Now a pack of cigarettes, pack of Marlboro, that was the brand that I was smoking, cost 12 to 13 euros in the Netherlands. And that's mostly tax. I smoked about 20 packs a month, so I easily saved myself €240 or $286 every single month by not smoking. And given that I quit smoking 20 years ago, I easily saved myself tens of thousands of dollars since I quit. And then I'm not even talking about the increased health risks as you age. Unsubscribe from retail emails. This one is simple but surprisingly effective. Go to your inbox right now and unsubscribe from every retail email you get. Every clothing brand, every home goods store, any limited time offer, just unsubscribe from all of them. Here's why this works. Most spending isn't intentional, it's reactive. Often you're not buying because you need something, you buy because you were reminded, because you were nudged, because you were tempted at just the wrong moment. These emails are engineered to create urgency. They'll have subject lines like, only a few left, or last chance, or sale ends tonight. But if you weren't planning to buy anything before the email arrived, that urgency is completely artificial. It's a fake emergency designed to trigger an impulse purchase. I'm not subscribed to any retail email and I'm much calmer for it. If you are interested in getting some of these emails, but you're wary of impulse buys, you could set up a separate email address and subscribe to those retail emails with that email address, and then just log in once a week. This way you still get the discounts, the updates, the coupons, but on your terms. Your main email address is prime real estate, and you don't want to just give anyone access. If you're interested in more tips, check out my video 7 frugal money-saving tips that actually work. And also don't forget to download the PDF with 100 frugal habits to save money. You can find the download link in the description. Thanks for watching. I hope to see you in the next one, and have a great day. Bye-bye.